gripped the attention of Mariashoni residents in Nakuru County. Your audience is always welcome. Our sign language interpreter tonight is Lensa Odingo. Employment and Labor Relations Court Judge Njagi MARETE has been reinstated after the tribunal appointed by President Uhuru Kenyatta to investigate his conduct cleared him of any wrongdoing. The tribunal, led by retired Court of Appeal Judge Al-Nashir Visram, found no merit on all accusations facing the judge. The complaint against Judge MARETE was filed by the Kenya Tea Growers Association, and he was suspended from office after the Judicial Service Commission forwarded a petition to the President to set up a tribunal to probe the matter.
After receiving oral submission from 18 witnesses, the tribunal investigating the conduct of suspended Justice Njagi MARETE of the Employment and Labor Relations Court has returned a no guilty verdict. The tribunal, led by retired Court of Appeal Judge Justice Al-Nashir Visram, said after thoroughly sieving through all evidence tendered by the witnesses and applying the law of land of fairness and principle of equity, found that the sole allegation of gross misconduct or misbehavior contained in a petition by the Judicial Service Commission presented to the President on May 2019 was not proven and could not stand.
And recalling the definition adopted by this tribunal for gross misconduct or misbehavior, we find no merit in the sole allegation of gross misconduct or misbehavior against the Honorable Judge. In consideration of all the evidence tendered and having found that the allegations against the Honorable Judge was not proved,
the tribunal recommending that the judge ought not to be removed from office,
the tribunal unanimously recommended to His Excellency the President that the Honorable Mr. Justice D.K. Njagi MARETE ought not to be removed from the office of the Judge of the Employment and Labor Relations Court of Kenya.
In June last year, Justice MARETE, through his lawyer Gitobu Imanyara, moved to the court seeking to stop the setting up of a tribunal, pending the determination of his petition challenging his allegation. The complaint against the Employment and Labor Court judge was filed by the Kenya Tea Growers Association, claiming the judge had issued orders in a matter that he was well aware that the case had been handled by another judge, rendering the first ruling nugatory. But he defended himself and said the order related to two different applications and as such there was no conflict. The suspended judge, however, lost the case when the court ruled that he had not demonstrated that his rights had been uninfringed. And after 1 year of waiting, the judge is reeling in victory.
Contact tracing is still a major challenge, derailing Kenya's fight against COVID-19. Health Chief Administrative Secretary Dr. Rashid Aman acknowledges the country cannot determine the exact number of infections, confirming concerns by the World Health Organization, which says the curve is not flattening as perceived. The revelation comes as the country confirmed 114 new coronavirus cases with no death reported in the last 24 hours. Purity Musa with that report.
On Monday, the World Health Organization, WHO, faulted Kenya's testing strategy for COVID-19, saying it has been focused on low-risk groups. In a statement, the United Nations International Public Health Agency further cautioned against the interpretation of the drop in COVID-19 cases in the country to mean decline in the spread of the disease. A day later, the Ministry of Health confirmed contact tracing, especially in the capital city, Nairobi, is a headache.
There has been a challenge in contact tracing, particularly in specific localities, especially in some of the hotspots, like Nairobi County being one of those hotspot areas. If you will recall that as this pandemic and the numbers started growing in the country, and you begin to pick up more and more positive cases, equally then the network of contacts becomes almost an exponential number.
This perhaps explains the decline in confirmed cases lately. In the last 24 hours, 114 Kenyans tested positive for the novel coronavirus from 1,682 samples.
114 people have tested positive, bringing to 34,315 the number of confirmed positive cases. From the cases, all are Kenyans except one foreigner. 93 of them are male and 21 are female. The youngest is a 1-year-old infant. The oldest is 85.
So far, Nairobi has the highest number of infections at 19,494, followed by Kiambu with 2,524 cases. Mombasa is third with 2,387 cases, followed by Kajiado, which has 1,878. In Machakos, 1,246 people have tested positive for coronavirus, while Busia, which is ranked 6th, has 1,087 confirmed cases.
318 patients have recovered from the disease. 263 of them have been released from home-based care program, and 55 have been discharged from various health facilities where they were receiving care. The total recoveries now stands at 20,211.
Meanwhile, Kenya is among selected countries in sub-Saharan Africa, South America and North America that will participate in a new study dubbed COVID-PN 5001, aimed at making researchers understand the novel coronavirus better and possibly come up with a vaccine. Dr. Grace Mboya, a researcher at the Kenya Medical Research Institute, says 800 respondents from the 3 regions will participate.
Hii study itafuatilia walioambukizwa na COVID-19, wale ambao wasio na dalili yoyote, wale ambao wako na dalili ya chini, na wale kikundi cha mwisho ni wale walioathirika zaidi na COVID-19 na waliolazwa hospitalini.
With the schools expected to reopen in January, the Minister of Health says it is not clear whether children will remain asymptomatic to COVID-19 disease or even become the super spreaders. Purity Museo, Channel 1 News, Nairobi.
Thank you, Purity Museo, for that report. The Kenya Forest Service is engaged in a standoff with the Ministry of Sports over illegal logging in NGONG Forest. KFS arrested 7 employees of a company engaged by the Ministry of Sports to clear part of the forest for the expansion of a stadium under construction. KFS is now demanding 1.2 million shillings as compensation from the ministry for the destruction.
A standoff looms between the Ministry of Sports and that of Environment over illegal logging at NGONG Forest. The contention created by the appetite of the Ministry of Sport to expand the Jamhuri Sports Ground. Now KFS claims the ministry has to pay 1.2 million shillings for cutting down 121 trees without a moratorium from the Ministry of Environment.
As Kenya Forest Service Board Chairman.
In other matters, a mysterious underground tunnel that has been in existence for the last 76 years continues to baffle residents of Mariashoni area in Molo, Nakuru County. The 6-kilometer-long concealed tunnel, said to have been constructed by the colonial settlers during the Second World War, has since remained abandoned, with its unique design slowly disintegrating. And while locals sharply remain divided over the mandate of the tunnel by the colonialists, the colossal structure housed a school that was attended by the notable Africans, as locals now call on the government to recognize the area as a historic site.
For many years, locals within the Mariashoni area of Molo constituency have harbored a little secret among themselves. That of neighboring one unique structure that they too cannot unravel its cause of existence. This underground tunnel, estimated to be about 6 kilometers, it is made out of quarry stones and reinforced with steel and concrete. It is now slowly crumbling due to its old age, but little is known about it. 62-year-old Joseph Chemaina, however, learned something from his father about the structure. It was completed in 1944, done by the colonialists, and was well guarded by the colonial police officers.
Wazungu walikuwa wamepanda maua pale Rongai chini. Sasa ilifuatilia hii mto ikaenda ikatega maji. Mali inaitwa Kishagi. Sasa hiyo maji hata saa hii bado inaendelea kutengenezwa hiyo maji.
The structure is a bit narrow at the entry point, but the tunnel widens as you progress inward, enabling one to maintain an upright posture.
Tulikuwa tukiingia tu mpaka mwisho na kulikuweko na ngazi ya kutokea kwa ile shimo ya mwisho. Yalikuwa imewekwa ngazi 7. Ya juu ni paranda ya kupumuzikia, ni kama meza hivi. Tulikuwa tukiingia hata watu kutoka mbali, Nyahururu, Kiambu, wapi, walikuwa wanakuja tu kwa watoto wa shule.
Ndani iko section 1, unaenda unainama, section ya pili, section ya 3 unaenda unaisimama. Alafu iko karibu section mpaka 10. Maji unakuta pale lingine imeteremka hivi, unaweka pale lingine maji inateremka pole pole. So alikuwa ameweka plaster mzuri. Kutoka pale tumeingia karibu kilomita 1 na kitu. Lakini pale tumebakisha huko mbele imefungana sababu matope imeporomoka. So hatukufika mwisho sababu ni mbali paka kwa mlima huko.
At the tail end of the tunnel there was a school that was later closed as the fight for freedom heightened.
Hata kuna mmoja aliyeweza kusoma mpaka ikakuwa MB, ilikuwa inaitwa Jenga Mungai. Na ingine ilikuwa inaitwa Chotara.
Chemaina also recalls that the contractor did not maintain one single group of laborers.
Ikimaliza mwezi mmoja inarudishwa na haiwezi rudishwa tena pande hii. Hiyo imemaliza kazi, inapelekwa kabisa, inaletwa ingine, inabadilishwa. Baka wakati hiyo shimo ilianza kumalizika, ikawekwa mlango, ilikuwa imeenda round hivi.
But the reason behind such an investment is still not clear among the dwellers here. Some say it was a bomb shelter in the battle between British Prime Minister Winston Churchill forces and Adolf Hitler-led German army. Others maintain it was a harmless canal constructed to carry water from a nearby stream to a distribution point for onward supply to white settlers' farms. And as historians and government officials are yet to take any interest in the existence of the tunnel, locals are proposing that perhaps it could be developed into a historical site.
Serikali hakuja angalia vile anaweza saidia hata kufence hapo sababu watoto anaweza ingia kuangalia maneno hatua huko ndani waporomokee huko.
Kamchemenza for Channel 1 News.